Coming up on today's Airborne, tenants and aviation groups file to halt the closure of Santa Monica Airport. Boeing's 787-9 Dreamliner and P-8A Poseidon make first airshow appearance. And the Secretary of the Air Force has a common reaction to a ride with the Thunderbirds. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. I'm Ashley Hale. A group of airport tenants has been joined by at least 2 national aviation associations in filing a complaint with the FAA concerning California's embattled Santa Monica Airport. The complaint, formally filed on July 2nd, requests that the FAA clarify that the airport must continue to abide by its FAA grant assurances through August 2023 to ensure vital aviation services and facilities remain intact. The city claims the grant assurance requirements only continue through the year 2015. It's reported that actor Harrison Ford is among the tenants filing the complaint. Others joining the complaint are several businesses operating on the airport grounds, as well as the NBAA and the AOPA. Boeing confirmed that the new 787-9 Dreamliner and the P-8A Poseidon will participate for the first time in flying displays at the Farnborough International Airshow, which runs July 14th through the 20th. These airplanes will be on static and flying display during the airshow through July 18th. The P-8A, a military derivative of the company's next-generation 737-800, is a multi-mission aircraft that provides advanced anti-submarine and anti-surface warfare capabilities for the U.S. Navy and Indian Navy. It will join Boeing's multi-role FA-18EF Super Hornet fighter in demonstrating versatile capabilities during daily flying displays. Boeing's display will also include a Qatar Airways Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner and the Boeing Maritime Surveillance Aircraft. It looks like Boeing is planning to make a first-class present at Farnborough. You're watching Airborne. We'll be right back after these messages with more news and our feature of the day.
ADS-B will be mandatory for most aircraft by 2020 in the United States, but you can benefit from ADS-B today with the Bendix King KT-74 Mode S transponder. The KT-74 meets the global mandates for ADS-B out when attached to a suitable WAAS GPS. Finally, the extraordinary story of the world-changing X-Prize space competition is being told and illustrated with hundreds of insider photos in Jim Campbell's colorful new book, Beyond the Blue. Journey with Jim as he flies formation with spaceships, plays in zero gravity, prepares rocket racers, and documents the amazing first decade of the personal space race. Available this summer. Get your advance order in now by checking out www.kindredspirit.com.
Welcome back. If you'd like to suggest a story for Airborne, Aero-TV, our website, or our podcast, drop an email to news-spy@aero-news.net. It would seem appropriate that the Secretary of the Air Force would be invited to ride with the Thunderbirds demonstration team, if for no other reason than just to have an understanding and appreciation for what they do. But Air Force Secretary Deborah Lee James may have gotten more than she bargained for during such an experience at Nellis Air Force Base recently. It's reported that James became violently ill while flying aboard one of the team's F-16s. James said she had the opportunity to observe various air crews over multiple days during her visit to Nellis Air Force Base. But after her demonstration ride aboard Thunderbird No. 4, she was reported to have said, quote, "I learned to wait to eat lunch after Thunderbird's practice is complete," end quote. And now it's time for our Aero video of the week.
Final liftoff of
During an air event at Old Warden Aerodrome in England last month, a replica Sopwith triplane tangled with a fence on low final approach, with predictable results. No injuries occurred, but we're sure some tears were shed. And yes, it will be able to fly again. Search Sopwith triplane crash on YouTube. Maintaining IFR proficiency in general aviation is important, and now the IMC Club and the EAA are taking steps to increase proficiency awareness at EAA AirVenture this year. The IMC Club, an organization that promotes instrument flight proficiency in general aviation, and the EAA have announced the inauguration of a new skill-building center at AirVenture 2014. The IFR Proficiency Center will be a hub for instrument pilots and will feature tech talks, IMC Club chapter meetings, and 8 Redbird flight simulators on which pilots can gauge their instrument proficiency by flying various approach scenarios. Jack Pelton, chairman of EAA, said, quote, "Instrument flying skills are key to a great many of our members, and the IFR Proficiency Center will add an important dimension to AirVenture and another destination site for our guests," end quote. The IFR Proficiency Center will be open every day, Monday through Sunday of AirVenture. There is no charge to participate. You're watching Airborne. We'll be right back after these messages.
Since the early days of powered flight, pilots have struggled with landing in crosswinds. In fact, crosswinds and wind gusts cause more landing accidents than fog, thunderstorms, and icing combined. That's where the Redbird X-Wind SE comes in. By placing pilots in gusty crosswind conditions for extended periods of time, the X-Wind SE gives instructors all the time they need to teach the pilot the proper techniques for landing in crosswind conditions. For more information on Redbird X-Wind SE and Redbird's entire line of flight training devices, visit www.redbirdflightsimulation.com.
Welcome back. This report from the NTSB confirms what those of us in aviation already suspected. When we see people being towed aloft in a parasail behind a boat, it's easy to wonder, how safe is this? Now the NTSB's first investigative report into parasailing safety finds the activity is largely unregulated, with serious accidents frequently caused by faulty equipment. NTSB Acting Chairman Christopher A. Hart said, quote, "An afternoon of parasailing can have tragic results if something as simple as a weak tow line, strong winds, or a worn harness causes a serious accident. It's crucial that operators are competent and aware of all the risks associated with parasailing," end quote. The report cited 8 accidents that occurred in Florida, Hawaii, North Carolina, and the U.S. Virgin Islands that resulted in 8 deaths and 5 injuries. The NTSB recommended that the United States Coast Guard implement a special license endorsement for parasail operators. Here's a news story that really isn't much of a surprise. The DOT's Office of the Inspector General says that the FAA is unlikely to meet its 2015 deadline for integrating UAVs into the National Airspace System. In a 33-page report released last week, the OIG concluded that, quote, "As the number of UAS operating in domestic airspace increases, safety risk will persist until the FAA establishes performance, air traffic control, and certification standards to regulate UAS use. Until the FAA is successful in establishing these standards and adhering to a comprehensive integration plan with other public and private stakeholders, it will remain unclear when and if the FAA can meet its goals to integrate UAS," end quote. The OIG report noted that the, quote, "FAA is making some progress in meeting UAS-related provisions of the FAA Modernization and Reform Act of 2012, but the agency is significantly behind schedule in meeting most of them, including the goal of achieving safe integration by September 2015. If you're looking for a job, we may be able to help you. ANN continues to expand slowly but surely, and we have some truly intriguing upgrades coming over the next few months, including here at Airborne. We're as excited about the future as we've ever been, but we need to find the right people for a number of jobs we need to fill now and in the future. We will be needing a fair amount of editorial staff, and the gigs are pretty flexible, needing several hours each day on assigned duty days on an adaptable schedule. You can work from anywhere as long as you have a good high-speed internet connection and the appropriate tools to pursue the day's stories and assignments. For more information and resume submission, email jim@aero-news.net. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories at aero-news.net. Remember, Airborne is streamed 3 times a week and is always online. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a new edition of Airborne. And by the way, there are now only 20 more days to go until Oshkosh. ANN will be there to bring you the most comprehensive coverage in the business. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.